George Sykes is a composed man with very simple likes and dislikes at first glance, but he has a very strong drive at what he does. He works two jobs on the Midway, the role of bookstore keeper, and he also has the role of daytime education. He looks up to his father, who was in the Navy. If he wasn't serving on the Midway, he would be working with the likes of the ASPCA because he is a dog lover. This goes to show how dedicated he is to serving his community. He has worked over 5,000 hours on the Midway and plans to continue serving as long as he can. My name is Jericho. I am just your average high school student who has the honor of working with George Sykes to tell his story and hopefully inspire other people to be more civically engaged. I will be talking about military service because I am also in a military family and it has impacted me greatly as a person. We asked George Sykes what we should know about the Vietnam War, and he responded with,
Okay, that was a very controversial time in history. I was in, I guess, my last 2 years of high school and then into junior college, and most of the nation's very highly divided about that. It was very controversial. There's a lot of rioting, mostly on school campuses, including colleges. Not too many in high school, at least where I went to high school, but it was very bad in this time. One thing I remember was at San Diego City College. I think it was in my first year. We were out in the quad having lunch, and a bunch of anti-war people dressed in hippie outfits and all this stuff came on campus raising Cain and started a near riot. And they had to call the police in, and it was pretty bad time. That's all there was to it. I was neutral in the whole thing. I wasn't for or against it because I didn't know much about it. I was a young kid, 19 years old. Well, yeah, 19 years old, and I knew very little about that part of the world, and so I just stayed completely out of it. I was, I guess, either one Y medical or had a school deferment. I can't remember back then when I was in college when that whole thing was going on.
We asked George Sykes how has volunteering helped him connect to his community, and he has responded with,
Well, I figured since I've been doing this, I'm more aware about how much volunteering helps me grow as a person and help keep museums like this place open and make people happy to come down here because everybody that I've run into in the 5 years I've been working here and the 15 years I've been a member, I've had very few people complain about anything. They all enjoy it and ask all kinds of questions.
This goes to show how he values the company and interactions of the people he meets on the Midway. My path towards civic engagement started when I started high school at Kearney School of DMD. DMD has taught me the importance of civic engagement. Through civic engagement, I have learned many things that would help me better the quality of my own life as well as those in my community. I learned that being more civically engaged helps deepen or even create relationships within our own community, such as when I volunteered at a festival and made some funny and outgoing friends. It creates new and amazing opportunities for life-changing interactions with interesting people. Like, for instance, working with the volunteers on the Midway has taught me some advice on life. I learned that even the smallest actions or contributions can have lasting impacts on the community. During my junior year, I got to immerse myself in military service, primarily due to the fact that I come from a military family, which piqued my interest. I learned during the Vietnam War, troops who came back from the war were met with cold welcoming instead of a warm one, as well as the fact that a total of 10,000 troops were deployed to suppress and contain the chaos of the 1992 LA riots, as well as the current U.S. involvement with Syria. A quote by George Sykes that I really thought was very inspiring was,
It's not just like I was saying, you don't have to be in the military, and to serve. You can serve your country, just doing like what I do here. Same thing. Right. I agree.
"Thank you, Mr. Sykes, for your time as well as the tours on the Midway. It truly was a pleasure talking and working with you. I look forward to seeing you again sometime in the near future for another tour with my family."